Hey, it's Jeremy, and it's time to talk about the piano lesson. Well, if judging by the poster you were expecting a burning piano in a field, that's not what we got. Based on the Pulitzer Prize winning play, this Nepo Baby affair, because two of Denzel Washington's children are involved, is the latest August Wilson Netflix adaptation. These adaptations, the other one being 2020's Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, were both produced by Denzel, but this one was directed by Malcolm Washington, and it stars John David Washington. And Denzel obviously produced, directed, and starred in 2016's Fences, but that wasn't a Netflix joint. Thank God. Now, for a Netflix movie, the piano lesson doesn't look as cheap visually as, say, Rustin did last year, or even Ma Rainey to a certain extent, both of which were directed by George C. Wolfe. So the piano lesson isn't about a piano lesson at all. It's about a big piano originally purchased through a trading of workers/slaves, and then stolen and handed down a generation to one of the thief's kids, played by John David and Danielle Deadwyler. There's a whole lot of history attached to this piano, including the family's ancestors carved into the piano itself. And it seems to be able to conjure up some ghosts and memories and magic. There's a little sci-fi fantasy thing going on. And John David Washington's character would like to sell the piano to buy himself some land down south. And Danielle Deadwyler is dead set against it. And she has Samuel L. Jackson to back her up. So this being a play adaptation, naturally most of the action takes place in one location, Danielle Deadwyler's house. And normally I don't have a problem with that per se. I love a chamber piece, originating from a play or not. Some of my favorites include Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, 12 Angry Men, Rear Window, Cube, The Breakfast Club, Rope, Phone Booth, Bug, Reservoir Dogs, and a bunch of others. But in this case, it's kind of annoying because not only are we always in the same house, save for a few flashbacks, but we're having the same conversation over and over and over again. John David's like, I want to sell this piano. And then Danielle's like, you ain't selling this piano. And then Sam Jackson's like, I told you she wasn't going to let you sell this piano. And on and on and on and on. I think it would have helped the movie feel a little bit more like a movie if they had cut some of those conversations out and added more flashback scenes about the piano's like previous life. It would have expanded the movie and made it more cinematic. The direction by Malcolm Washington is mostly fine because he surrounded himself with amazing actors. Danielle, Samuel L. Jackson, Ray Fisher, Corey Hawkins, Michael Potts. Hell, even Erykah Badu makes an appearance here, and she's great. The only issue for me is John David, who is usually a very capable actor, but here his performance isn't well calibrated. It's very much a stage performance, which makes sense because he's played this role on stage before. But the director should have helped him transfer his performance from the stage to the screen. And who knows, maybe it's because they're brothers and it was weird, but his performance stands out like a sore thumb from everybody else in the movie. And the little fantasy tone switch that happens at the end was handled as well as it could have been, I think, direction-wise. But I kind of wish they'd lean into it a bit more. Maybe that's one of the things they could have brought in earlier in the movie to kind of like spice it up. I don't know. It was interesting, but I would have liked to know more about the motivations and the piano's history and what people were using it for at the time. Performance-wise, like I said, apart from John David, everyone's doing great work here. Sam Jackson, we've seen much better before, but this is kind of a nothing role, so it's fine. I can't get how he says the word piano, though. I've been trying to pronounce it like him ever since I saw the movie the other night, and I just can't. The way he says it, it's like...
Gonna sell that piano.
Piana. Anyway, I love it. Michael Potts was a standout, especially in that singing scene earlier in the movie. And Ray Fisher was amazing and the hottest thing in this movie. Jesus Christ. But of course, Danielle Deadwyler is the MVP as always. I would take a bullet for this woman. She's so good. You cannot take your eyes off of her. Whenever she's on screen, it's in whatever she does, but here she is electric. Always on edge, like a raw nerve exposed. I've loved her in everything I've ever seen her in. I don't think she works enough, so I think we need to hire her more. I believe she can do anything, so let's have her prove that to us. And I think she's the best chance this movie has of getting an Oscar nomination. I hope it happens. Some will say it's kind of a makeup for being snubbed 2 years ago for Till, but I don't think so. I think the performance stands on its own, and it's great. So that's it. That's all I have to say about The Piano Lesson. Unfortunately, it's not that memorable, but good for them. See you next time.
That piano is the story of our whole family.